What factors shape the real estate market and home values, and why you should know.
Click on the banner above to learn more about our sponsor, Fairway Independent Mortgage.
Here are the factors that are shaping the real estate market and home valuations. We're going to dive into the particulars. But first, Investopedia gives us a quick overview of those major influencers. And number one, of course, is demographics. That is a data that can describe a certain population or community, such as age, race, gender, income, even migration patterns. And not to be forgotten, in a census year, of course, population growth. Now, those stats are often overlooked, but they really can impact how real estate is ultimately priced, and especially the types of properties that can be in demand. And we're seeing something we haven't seen since the 1970s again. That's urban flight. That in the wake of the COVID-19 lockdowns, closed businesses, widespread civil unrest, riots, and increasing tax burdens in some of our largest cities. Now, for example, since July 2019, rents are down over 10% in Manhattan as former downtown residents are fleeing to the surrounding boroughs and the suburbs, in some cases even out of the state. That's something my best friend in Queens can confirm. He was featured here on the show before. Second, of course, interest rates. Now, today's average interest rate on an adjustable rate, HECM, ranges from 2.9 to 3.5%. That's with the margin, and that depends on what is being offered by the lender. Now, for a 72-year-old man, for example, with a $350,000 home, a 3.125% interest rate would give him a gross principal limit, that's the funds available before liens, fees, and set-asides, of about $202,000. But before the pandemic and the central bank slashing interest rate, that same individual would only qualify for $180,000 with a 4.125% interest rate. Now, that's a 12% reduction in total loan proceeds, so that's another big factor. In fact, last Thursday, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell announced a policy shift for the Federal Reserve, saying that the Fed's going to focus on, quote, average inflation targeting. In essence, it means that the prior target of a 2% inflation rate, or keeping it below that, would be typically triggering a rate hike. Well, that's being abandoned for a higher inflationary tolerance. That means interest rates are expected to remain low for the foreseeable future. And of course, the Dow Jones spiked up considerably, 300 points last week in the hours that followed that announcement. And third, we have economic performance and outlook, and that's one of my biggest concerns. The U.S. GDP, or gross domestic product, dropped by over 30% in response to the nationwide shutdown and the spread of the coronavirus. The gross domestic product is not expected to dramatically improve, as today marks 168 days of the original 15 days to slow the spread. If you forgot, that was enacted March 16th. Number 4, government policies. Tax credits and stimulus measures to improve or increase home ownership. Now, unemployment may eat into that when employers find that some, if not all, of their Paycheck Protection Program monies received could be taxable. After 20 interim rule changes to the CARES Act, we can see that the program is literally evolving before our eyes. The IRS took the position in their Notice 2020-32, stating that expenses that would otherwise be deductible in a borrower's trade or business would not be deductible if they were the result of loan forgiveness in the PPP loan. And that could lead to further layoffs for cash-strapped employers who took the Paycheck Protection Program loan, and of course, that impacts home values. Now, all that leads us to the conclusion that at this very moment, despite the pandemic and the economic uncertainty, we are in an ideal lending environment to qualify the greatest number of potential homeowners for a reverse mortgage, whether it's the federally insured home equity conversion mortgage program or a proprietary loan. That's right, we have this window of opportunity. We don't know what the future holds, but we can, in fact, seize the day with the ideal interest rates, stable home values. In fact, some areas of the country are seeing increases in home valuation. And also, those of you that are lending in urban areas, you could actually see a drop in home values before the suburbs. Some real estate experts and those that look at the market are actually predicting that suburbs and more rural areas of the country could actually see home values increase modestly, while the urban areas actually go down in value. So there you have it, the 4 factors that influence the real estate market and home valuations and the opportunity we have right now. It's good to have a holistic picture when it comes to the overall economy. Unemployment, of course, supply and demand is always influenced by all of those different factors. and how you can really seize the moment that we have now. We're in a window of opportunity. I cannot drive that point home enough. So thank you so much for joining us. If you would share this episode with other professionals, you can do that using the social media links on this page. And don't forget, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you never miss an upcoming episode. And today we have our latest edition. That's episode 633, by the way, of HECM World Weekly. That's our weekly podcast. It's the only one in the nation, actually. That's a weekly show for reverse mortgage professionals. So be sure to go to HECMWorld.com or listen on iTunes as well. Have a great week, and we'll see you back here for more reverse mortgage news, commentary, and analysis.